Hey, hi, I'm James Hills. I'm from the Tasmanian Institute of Agriculture, a Senior Research Fellow there, and I'm involved with this Smart Irrigation for Profit project. This place is really important because it is one of many optimised irrigation sites that have been set up right across Australia, from Western Australia to Queensland to New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, Tasmania. And the thing with these sites is that we've got a whole heap of technology set up on these sites to understand what is happening in terms of our irrigation, so that we can optimise our irrigation practice, so that we can get the best productivity out of it. So Smart Irrigation for Profit 1 was a project in which we went out and just measured what farmers were doing, and through that process we actually recognised farmers were only growing at about half their productivity or what they potentially could be achieving. Yeah, so having identified that, we then said, okay, well, why is that the case? And very clearly what we were able to identify is that one of the biggest issues was just the simple scheduling of their irrigation. They weren't lining up the amount of water that was going out, being used by the plants, with the amount of water that they needed to put back into the system. So what we were able to show them is that by just adjusting their scheduling, not necessarily using more irrigation, but just adjusting their scheduling, they were able to double their productivity. So this technology is technology that's useful right across all the industries. So there are some basic principles of irrigating, whether you're growing cotton, whether you're growing rice, whether you're growing sugar or grains or pastures. That same technology to help with scheduling of irrigation can be beneficial to all of those. So the technologies basically that we're using are things like our soil moisture probes, so that we can get a real picture of what's happening under the ground and use that to teach farmers about soil moisture. We're using weather stations to be able to enable us to measure evapotranspiration rates locally, so that we can actually learn how much is going out of the system. Rain gauges to look at how much is going into the system. And we're using basically some simple online scheduling tools that bring all the data together to show the farmers where their water budget is and how much they are using and how much is going in and out of the system, and then forecasting tools from the Bureau of Meteorology and other places that are saying this is what we're expecting, and that enables farmers to say, okay, based on that, then this is when we think we need to be irrigating. So my advice for farmers is that it is really important to get out there and measure so that you understand what is happening on your farm. And that's a really key part of this whole project, benchmarking against the possibility. So get out there, measure under your irrigated paddocks, have a look at what your productivity is like, and then ask questions if it isn't right. Now, is it because of your watering?